everlasting peace I carry now.
Hey guys, good morning, afternoon, evening, whenever this might be reaching you guys. It's Jake again here with Jobial. I kind of had a really cool little presentation here set up. Hopefully, you're watching the video. If not, I'll kind of try and explain it the best I can through words alone. But I kind of woke up in the middle of the night, which seems to happen pretty often with me. That's kind of my relationship with the Lord. It's just kind of some things sporadically come to me during the night. Generally, what I'll do is I'll wake up in the middle of the night, and it's between 3 and 5 a.m. normally, which people are usually like, well, that's witching hour. It's kind of creepy, right? But what I end up doing is I'll take my Bible and I'll open up a random page, and if it's not highlighted, what I'll do is I'll kind of read a couple pages and just kind of go through it that way. And obviously, what I'll end up doing is I'll take the highlighter and I'll mark the pages that I read. But I'm currently reading through the Bible right now, and when I say reading through the Bible, kind of cheating. I'm actually using the Bible app, which it kind of reads it for you. So I'll run that between 15 minutes to a half hour to an hour a day, depending on how much I think I can consume and retain, which is important because retention is super important when it comes to learning, obviously. So if something ends up, I get caught up driving, which you should be paying more attention to than anything, or if I'm busy doing something, if I don't remember it, I'll kind of go back to it. Anyway, I just want to kind of start off with a word here today that kind of inspired this little project here. We're going to get a little messy here in a minute. It comes from Romans 6, chapter 4 through 7. And it goes, "We were therefore buried with him through baptism into death, in order that, just as Christ was raised from the dead, through the glory of the Father, we too may live a new life. For if we have been united with him in a death like his, we will certainly also be united with him in a resurrection like his. For we know that our old self was crucified with him, so that the body ruled by sin might be done away with, that we should no longer be slaves to sin, because anyone who has died has been set free from sin." Okay, so basically, what that boils down to is we're speaking of baptism here. So through baptism, basically, we're spiritually buried with Christ and raised to a new life with Him through baptism. So a lot of people kind of asked me or had some questions, about the prayer that was spoken over and when I accepted the Lord into my life. And that prayer was enough for me to start seeing signs and again become receptive to, hey, this, He's always been here for me. But it wasn't really until I got baptized that, I fully, I guess, took on that shield I was speaking of, kind of like that armor you get on that on the video game. Everybody wants, unlimited life, right? So a lot of times it's a cheat code. There's no cheat code here. It's literally just going and you know accepting the Lord into your life. And my baptism was actually pretty interesting. I ended up getting dunked into like a horse trough in the middle of March. And they all told me, the water's fine. It's nice and warm out there. It's been heating up in the sun. I'll tell you what, man, I don't know if it was just from getting baptized or that water was freezing. But I'll tell you what, man, it was cold. And it ended up kind of taking the breath out of me, really. It may have been because of cold. It may have been just because of the baptism itself. It was just very, I wouldn't say overwhelming in a bad way, but you have all these people around you that you love, and even strangers alike that are there cheering you on, and it's such a cool thing to experience and watch people do it. And it's even cooler whenever you're the one getting dunked in the tank. So, long story short, we're kind of out of focus right now. I'm gonna have to set this thing back up so we're going to focus here, but we got everybody's favorite cup here, the red Solo cup, and usually it's synonymous with partying and drinking or whatever, but that's not what we're here to do today. But cheers to life and prosperity and love and whatever. So I'm gonna cut this part out here, and we're gonna get focused on what's in front of us, and I'll be right back with you guys. Okie dokie. So we're back here. So basically, I just want to kind of give you a really cool representation of what baptism looked like to me, and to kind of show you the Lord's protection. So the red cup is basically going to be you, or me in this case, or whoever. Normal person, doesn't matter who you are, could be anybody. So kind of a frail cup here. We bend, we break, we poke holes in it. We're going to represent this right here as the Lord. Pretty solid, nothing's going through that thing, right? So essentially, we got God there. So as you go through life, you know, the old saying, He pours into us and we pour in, to others, goes something like this. So He's going to pour into us. And we're nice and full there. So you got a nice full cup here. And then what we got here will represent kids, spouse, friends, wherever, whoever, right? So pour a little there, a little there, a little there. We'll represent that as, love, patience, grace, kindness, anything that's good that comes from God, right? So here He comes, pouring us back in here. And this is a nice, perfect life example, right? So for those of you that are listening, hopefully you can check the video out. So we're human. We make mistakes. Sometimes we feel like we're not worthy. We feel like we're not, lovable. We feel like we make mistakes. We start to get holes in us, man. So basically, here comes a, mistake here. And there you go. So there goes all that love and patience and grace that we're supposed to pour into others. Starts to run out pretty quick. And as life goes on, we kind of keep getting these holes. And, this is pre-Jesus, pre-God, as you can see, we're leaking out pretty quick. And that kind of limits to what we can, pour into others. And really, at the end of the day, how much do we have left for ourselves? How much love, how much, of that light do we have left in ourselves to even want to go on and continue, right? So we can go through life like that, and, we can even go along and say, well, there's people here that are, we're going to fill this back up here, people that are bigger and stronger, and surely, another person or man can help me, or woman or whomever. And, it's like, just kidding, we all have these holes that get poked into us. And no matter what, or whoever it is, as much as we like to try, there's just some things that we can't do as people, right? So, long story short, what being baptized was like for me. See all these holes here that represent, could be, death of a family member, could be why did I lose my job, could be divorce, could be failed relationships, could be any sin represented here, right? Doesn't matter who you are, doesn't matter what you did. Because as soon as you go into the water, this is where you make a mess. Get dunked in there. And as soon as you come back up, where I talked about the Lord being there the whole time and you not knowing, well, brother, I'll tell you what. If you're watching the video here, what we got, as soon as we got dunked down in the water there, you see this nice little clear shield, which is just literally just another clear solo cup that I tossed in the water here, representing, the love of God and the protection of God. And while, you may not look perfect on the outside and you have all these holes and all these scars to display still, it doesn't matter to him. It just matters that you believe in him and love him. And, I'm not saying that things are going to be perfect here on out. You're going to develop holes. You're going to develop problems, issues. But knowing that the Lord is able to retain, everything that is good in you is going to allow you to go back and pour into others. And to pour into strangers and to just pretty much share that love that he's, given you through the sacrifice of Jesus Christ. And I just want to kind of show it that way, because a lot of people are like, well, we don't see it. It's something that's invisible. It's something that we can't really fathom. Well, to me, this is kind of like proof of that right here. And the things that hurt you and affect you aren't going to affect God. So just knowing that he has you and knowing that you're protected, kind of leads way to no longer being stressed about things. And I'm not saying you're not going to be stressed, but like literally handing things over to him and praying to him, it's extremely important in my opinion. And, ever since I got baptized, everybody's like, well, do you feel alone? Well, not really, dude. I don't feel alone very often because, I pray a lot. And just knowing I have that protection, that extra shield over me, and just knowing that love exists and knowing that love is there and being able to pour into your cup and someone else's cup that I may not even know, just out of the love of the Lord, is just something else. So I just want to kind of give you guys that quick little demonstration. I thought it was kind of a cool way to show that, and hopefully it makes sense. I feel like I might be kind of rambling here, but that's beside the point. So I'm just kind of trying to make it short and sweet for you guys. But just thanks for listening, and that's it. So when you become baptized, you're basically assuming a new identity as a child of God. Am I saying you're going to be perfect and not mess up and goof up? Well, unfortunately not. We're all human. We make choices and make decisions. But as long as you're trying to do better and be the best person you can be and live through Christ, you're going to be in a really good pathway there. But baptism essentially is wiping away your old life, washing away all those sins, and accepting Jesus fully in and out, accepting God in and out fully. And again, we all are going to display these little scars, and these right here to me, man, like, just for example, like, why am I not good enough? Why am I getting divorced? Why didn't I get the job I wanted? Why is addiction hard to break? There's just some examples that can kind of come off the top of my head that are pretty standard, questions. But with this project, I kind of hope to help this show these, scars that we all have kind of as, tools, and say, hey, look, you're not alone. You're going to get through this, through the help of community and people. Everybody has their own stories. Everybody has something to tell, a lesson to teach. And, I think when you're doing it in this form, in this factor, again, I'm not trying to preach to anybody. I can't force you down into the water. I can only show you an example of how I went from trying to go solo over here, to deciding, maybe going solo isn't quite the best option. And just having all that extra, love I can, pour into myself and retain and pour into others through the Lord. All the forgiveness that's been received, the new life, the transformations, the completely, this new identity of you. We're all put here, I believe, to do that. And, as far as someone leading you to the Lord or, to church, they can sure give you exposure. No one's going to, be successful in keeping you there or retaining you. It's going to be a decision you're going to have to make, really. And I remember, I'll bring Pastor Jerry back up again, the church I go to, Connection Point there. I remember him, saying you really can't force people to come, and as much as you want to, drag your mom, brother, sister, aunt, uncle, boyfriend, girlfriend, wife to church, it's going to be on them to decide, where they're going and if they want to go. And they're going to have to make that decision ultimately. So at the end of the day, we can really just inspire people through our own stories. And I hope this was a really cool representation. And you guys feel free to steal it, share it. Don't even give me credit. I don't even care. Like, it's a really cool, quick, easy thing you can show to friends, especially if you're at a party. Solo cups are everywhere, right? So I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm really stoked that I woke up, with this idea in my head. I thought it was really cool. So I'm going to go ahead and actually just end this little podcast here, this little message here. And I appreciate you guys. I hope you have a blessed day, afternoon, night, whenever this reaches you guys. And I will catch you next time. Later, Gator.
Got me home.